Hi guys, welcome back. First and foremost, I am sorry for the past, present, and future victims of Hurricane/Tropical Storm Harvey. That being said and done, let's get to the topic at hand. You may have guessed by the title that it is Let's Talk About Jak 4 and His Possible Story. My proposal for this is to keep the cartoony style we know and love, but add modern edges to it, but upgraded graphics. Keeping the models the same and making them look real by adding texture and depth is most important. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. You are free to disagree with me, and don't be afraid to leave your own theories and comments below. The first topic I'm going to discuss is Eco. Eco is the life energy of the Jak series. My idea is to make the Eco colors each of the four elements. Red Eco is fire, blue Eco is water, green Eco is wind, yellow Eco is earth, still keeping the Eco abilities from the Precursor Legacy, which is the first Jak game. The next topic is Kira continuing in her father Samus's footsteps as an Eco Sage. This only makes sense. No one lives forever, and Samus is not getting any younger. You might recognize this from Jak and Daxter the Lost Frontier. I know not everyone liked that game. I've seen comments on other YouTube videos saying things like, that game sucks, it's bad for a Jak and Daxter game, it's terrible. Anyway, this will make an excellent idea for Jak 4, but just implement it correctly. For example, maybe Samus could be on his deathbed with his friends and family around him. With his dying breath, he begs Kira to continue his legacy. In tears, Kira agrees. Samus smiles and finally dies. His power is transferred to the next generation. What I'm getting at is they never had a backstory to build up to Jak and Kira's journey in the Lost Frontier. No backstory, nothing of the sort. The backstory is essentially important for video games. Most of all video games at least have some kind of epilogue at the end, essentially explaining the end events, and a prologue explaining what happened before the main story and what led up to it. This would be an excellent idea for Jak 4. Explain what happened in the previous three games, Jak 1, 2, and 3, Jak X, to the new viewers, so that way the new viewers don't have to play the older games to essentially get what happened. Now this has to be in Jak 4. Jak continuing on in Deimos' footsteps as the new king of Spargus. Jak could easily help make Spargus City and the Wasteland Desert into an archaeologist's paradise. Sorry, I can't say that word correctly, so sue me. I can't say that word correctly. Anyway, this would bring people to the desert to help understand the artifacts left behind by the Precursors. Perhaps a new artifact is found that hints at an unknown civilization that was even more powerful than the Darkmakers, or perhaps even a facility that the Precursors used and sealed away to prevent technology inside from being used ever again. Maybe Cleaver has Otto Vigor work his tail off to essentially pay for destroying the Palace at Haven City. Other ideas for this could essentially be Jak essentially helping build a new section of Spargus, maybe with an archaeologist academy or some kind of college or school or something. Maybe expanding into the Wasteland Desert a little bit more, or out into the ocean. I mean, there's all this territory out in the ocean. All that territory could essentially be used. I wonder what could happen from that. Maybe essentially have a port or some kind of fishing town. That's another idea, expanding the city. Other ideas include maybe essentially using that old abandoned town to the south of the Wasteland Desert, where essentially you go in Jak 3 to essentially collect leaper lizards. Maybe basically have shepherds live down there and have a second city down there. Develop the Wasteland Desert a little bit more. Again, guys, sorry for my bad speech tones. I'm essentially literally a little bit tired. I'm doing it for you guys. Thank you. Where's the villain, you may ask? The villain could either be the Darkmakers coming back to take revenge on Jak for essentially destroying their ship in Jak 3, or a terrorist group for a modern twist. I haven't come up quite with a name yet. Maybe you guys can come up with a name for the potential terrorist group that a Naughty Dog or another developer could add to the terrorist group. The terrorist group could essentially either send in patrols to essentially scout where the soldiers are, their patrols, where Jak is stationed all of this, essentially turn it into essentially sort of like a adventure platforming slash strategy game as well, for something new, but still, like I said before, keeping the models the same, keeping the cartoony style, but essentially adding modern graphics like texture and depth to make them look more realistic. Basically, take advantage of the PlayStation 4's features. Also, maybe adding PS4 Pro enhanced features, all of them if possible, for 4K gaming. Other things essentially include maybe the Dark Maker, if it's the Dark Makers, maybe have them standing back like with binoculars, looking down at the dig, saying, "Hey, there's Jack. There's the patrols," and maybe noticing Dark Daxter and saying, "Well, maybe we can recruit him, not physically, but maybe mentally to control as him." Sorry about this, guys. I'm a little stuttery. Just wanted to warn you about that. Maybe the Dark Makers see Dark Daxter and essentially say, "Hey, we can recruit him. We can use him to essentially get Jack out of the way, or so we can essentially take over the camp and essentially get at the artifacts inside the precursor sealed facility." Anyway, have fun, guys. See ya.